Good afternoon. Welcome to EduSat Network. Friend, as you know, today we are going to discuss dynamics of contemporary society. You all know society is dynamics. It's not a static part, very vibrant. There are various forces that play and give shape to the society, but very difficult to understand the dynamics of society. We'll try to explore the elements that prominently affect the society, have impact on the society, and how we could understand the current society, contemporary society. And for discussion on this topic, we have in the studio Dr. Vivek Kumar, eminent social thinker, academician, writer, and you all are aware, known to his face. You watch every day on the television. So I think that his knowledge and experience will help us to understand this very topic and will help us to understand the dynamics of society, to understand a new perspective. So on behalf, I welcome Dr. Kumar for EduSat lecture. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Amranji, and it was a profound and it is a profusely eminent introduction of such a small person. Thank you so much. Well, friends, it's indeed a pleasure to talk to students who have been involved in the sociological practice and training. And today, as Amranji told you, he has given me a topic on contemporary society, dynamics of contemporary society. So to understand, let us straight away try to talk about what is society, how we try to understand society. And first and the foremost, the definition given by none other than McIver and Page, the simplistic definition of society given by McIver and Page, we can understand through that what is society. According to McIver and Page, society is nothing but a web of social relationships. That means when people come together and they form a combination, they interact with each other, society takes shape. Society are of different types, and there are a number of sociologists who have tried to talk about types of societies. So let us first take that there are simple societies and there are complex societies. Emile Durkheim, taking leaf from development of societies like Auguste Comte, Saint-Simon, and Herbert Spencer, he took about that there are two types. Societies can be divided mainly at in terms of their composition, in terms of their division of labor. We can divide society into two broad categories: simple societies and modern complex societies. If we take simple society, then we can try to understand simple society on the basis of rules and regulations in that society, also the division of labor. So what Durkheim tried to argue, that simple societies are those societies in which the division of labor is very simple. That means simple here means that division of labor is based on age and gender, or you can say sex. So the people who are young, they will go for their own work. Usually in simple societies, the people try to live by food, hunting and gathering, and sometimes they may also live on agriculture. So people of young age, young blood, they will go for hunting. The old age people may be doing some domestic work, and similarly women will be cooking, going to gather firewood, so and so forth. So you can very well see that division of labor, work in the society, in simple society is usually based on age, young people, old people as well as children. They will have their own type of work to do. Similarly, women will have to do their own work. The second thing of simple society is the law which governs them. And according to Emile Durkheim, the French philosopher who was born in France 1857 to 1914, he was born in 1857 and died in 1914. So what he does, he tries to argue that simple society where division of labor is based on age and gender, the rule which governs them are repressive laws. That means the laws which are there, they basically are repressive in the sense that if you have committed mistake, then nobody will hear you give a chance for correction. You will be, if you have beaten somebody with your hand, then your hand will be punished accordingly. If you have killed a man, you will also be killed. So there is no way that you will be given a corrective a time, a period where you can correct yourself. Therefore, so repressive laws are basically in that simple society. Now the third thing about simple society is type of solidarity which governs a particular simple society. Now according to Emile Durkheim again, the solidarity which governs the simple society is known as organic solidarity. That means it is mechanical solidarity. That means like machine produces similar type of you can say products time and again. How many times if a machine is preparing bottle, or a machine is suppose making glass, again and again that machine will make similar type of glass. That means the solidarity which emerges in simple society is because of this similarity, and that is called as mechanical solidarity. Durkheim draws an analogy from mechanical solidarity, that is machine producing a particular type of product, and that product is similarly because of similarity of nature, similarity of more or less similar type of division of labor, the different type of similar type of laws. The hallmark of simple society is similarity, and therefore because of similarity a type of solidarity emerges, which according to Durkheim is mechanical solidarity. So we can say that in the world there are mainly two broad categories of society. One is simple society. Simple society is based on one simple type of division of labor which is based on age and sex. Second, the solidarity is mechanical solidarity, and the laws which govern simple society, they are repressive laws. Against this simple society, according to Emile Durkheim, there is another type of society which is known as modern complex society. Now modern complex society, as the name suggests, begins with a very complex type of division of labor. Now, if you see division of labor in this sense, division of labor is specialized in nature. It is not based on age and sex and gender as it was done in the simple society. This is very complex, very specialized type of division of labor. Now, what happens in modern complex society, that each person is specialized to do work in a particular type of way. That means, suppose I take example that division of labor, that doctors are there, engineers are there. Doctors will look after their patients, engineers will look after their own things, that is, there can be mechanical engineer who is looking after cars, there are civil engineers who are looking after buildings, there may be electronic engineers who are looking about electronic goods, and there may be computer engineers who are looking of the software, and then there within computer engineers there are hardwares and softwares. So these are very, very specialized understanding of their job specification. So if a society, especially modern society, which is based on industrialization, and because of industrialization there are job specialization, there are certain people who can do certain types of things but not trained to do anything. So in this type of society, we have a very complex type of division of labor. Now, we have to understand the dynamics of contemporary society because of this division type of labors. So people, because of division of labor, people are trained in a particular manner, they get remuneration because of that, and therefore they are in their own status. Now, the second thing of modern complex society is the law which governs this type of society. So what is that type of law which governs modern complex society? The law in the modern complex society is, the law is restitutive law. The law in the modern complex society is restitutive law. What was the law in the simple society? In the simple society, the law was repressive. So we have restitutive law in the modern complex society. What is restitutive law? Restitutive law is that if you have committed certain mistake and certain crime, then you will be given a chance to explain why did you commit that crime or mistake. And if there is proper law, if it is not proved, then what will happen, that you may be let off, or there may be a chance which may be given to you to refine yourself, to rectify your mistake. For example, if you have told a lie, then there may be less punishment, but if you have killed a person, then there may be a higher punishment. And suppose if you have killed a person in self-defense, then there may be actually less punishment to you. But if you have killed a person knowingly, there may be long. In the Indian society, there are Indian Penal Code will be giving you certain type of restitutive law, restitutive punishments. Suppose you have killed a person on the borders, then you may be given, you may be awarded. So it is in this context the restitutive law takes note of the conditions in which you have committed a particular crime, and then accordingly a person may not be punished or given less punishment, or maybe let only for by giving a person warning. So it is here, friends, that we see that a person in restitutive law will be very, very easily identifying with a different type of system. Now, the third thing which governs the modern complex society is the solidarity. What type of solidarity modern complex society has? You will wonder that on the one hand I am saying that there is so complexity, there is division of labor which is very complex. There are engineers, there are doctors, whether engineers, there are mechanical engineers, there are civil engineers, there are electrical engineers, there are computer engineers. Within computer engineers there are software, there are hardware people. So all these, and then you are talking about there will be solidarity. How can there be solidarity if there is so much of division of labor? There is so much of division. Now Durkheim is very, very conscious and argues that in this type of society, which is modern complex society, where there is intense and complex nature of division of labor, in where there is restitutive law, then you can have organic solidarity. Organic solidarity, he draws an analogy from organs, or you can say organism. Organism, the body, my body has different parts. We have heart, we have liver, we have stomach, we have spleen, we have kidney, we are actually having lungs. Each and every part of the body, whether it is heart, whether it is lung, whether it is kidney, all organs of the body, that is organism, they are playing their own part. But what happens is that they are not functioning independently. They are dependent on each other, and thereby they are contributing in a positive manner for maintaining this body. They are maintaining this body just to keep it going. So similarly, there are different organs in the society. These organs, like family is an association, like market is an organ of the society, there is university, there are colleges, you can say there is industry, there is judiciary. All these organs are functioning in the society. Now these organs of the society, they are not functioning independently, they are in tandem with each other. Individual is found in these institutions and they play a role in this institution, and because of this role they are dependent on each other. So market is dependent on family, and family is dependent on university, college, and you can say industry, because if you don't produce, you will not be able to eat, you will not be given your labor, so how will you survive? So each institution is related to each other and they are contributing in a positive manner. So organic solidarity, according to Weber, is a type of solidarity when the different organs of the society contribute into the maintenance of the whole body, that is maintenance of a whole, then we have organic solidarity. So friends, what we have done in looking the dynamics of the modern complex society, we have seen that the division of labor is very intense, and that division of labor really tries to guide the dynamics of the society. Then second, there are laws which govern, and the laws are restitutive in nature, because in modern complex society they give you full freedom, and this freedom is basically how you can function with your human rights, human values. And the third thing is that the solidarity, there is a solidarity which governs, which brings to the whole mass into one, and this solidarity is organic solidarity. So we have two types of societies, simple societies and complex society. Modern complex societies are industrial societies. Simple societies can be considered as village societies, or you can say tribal societies, in which we see that in tribal societies the division of labor is simple, based on age and sex. The solidarity is mechanical and the laws are repressive. In the modern complex society, we see that the division of labor is complex, more and more specialized division of labor. The laws which govern, they are restitutive, and third thing is that they are also governed by organic solidarity. Now, from here, friends, this is a dynamics which we can say overall, and G.P. Murdoch tried to understand 250 societies, and after understanding 250 societies, he said family is the most important and most universal institution which is found in these 250 types of societies. So, family becomes a very, very important institution of any society, and in India we also see that these are. But when we go to European society, friends, when we go to European society, another thinker, especially Karl Marx, he is a German sociologist. We treat him as founding fathers, though by profession he was economist. Karl Marx tried to discuss the dynamics of society in different levels of development in Europe. Especially, he said that if we see the dynamics of society, then we can see that the matter is very important. The matter changes the idea, and out of that idea, a new type of society is born. Now, it is in this context he saw that the modern Europe, if we see that it has developed through 4 phases. Now, these 4 phases are: first, the classless society, no private property, individual was free. Now, in this freedom, the individual went to different parts of the place in Europe. They tried to catch fish, they did hunting, they grew some crop, and they lived without anybody's interference in their private life. But out of that emerged, settled agriculture, and the second stage of development of European society was the slaves and master. So there were people who enslaved the other people, and they made them their slave, so they could take their cheap labor out of them and made them a slave. They could sell them, you could use them as their private property. So this was another stage of development of society. The third stage of European society was the landlord and serfs. So some people started doing agriculture, and they owned long tracts of fields, and these long tracts of fields made them as landlords. But they could not plow the land because the land was so huge, the size was very huge, so they could not basically plow that land, and therefore what they did, they needed laborers, and they needed farmers, peasants, to plow the land. And in that sense, 2 classes were born, and these were landlords and serfs. So in the first epoch of the development of the Europe, there was no classes. It was a classless society. Individuals were free, whatever they wanted they could do. But there was also a second epoch in which some people enslaved the others, and therefore slaves and masters were born. 2 classes were born, and the third stage of the European society's development was the landlords and the serfs. And the fourth stage in the development of the Europe was the industrial development, where people were divided on the basis of ownership of means of production. These were called as industries. Owners of means of production, these were called as industries, in industrialists. And then there were laborers who were selling their cheap labor to the industrialists. Now we see two classes in three epochs. The ancient period, where there was no class, the classless society. Then there was actually period in the later ancient period when we had medieval, when we had slaves and masters, and the medieval ages we had also third stage, we were having landlords and serfs, and the modern period we had industrialists, where after the industrial revolution, we can say 18th century onwards, we had means of ownership of production, those who were called as bourgeois, and those who were selling their labor, they were called as proletariats. Now society was born. He's saying that according to Marx, there is a contradiction in these class oriented society. Every class has its own interest, and this class, the whole history can be divided into have and have nots. So there are two main classes according to Karl Marx in society, and this is the dynamics that these two classes haves, like masters in the ancient period, the landlords in the ancient period, and industrialists, which we call them as bourgeois. They own the means of production. And there is another class which is called as the society which sells their labor and earns their living. They are known as workers. So they were slaves. Then there were actually serfs, and then there were proletariats or workers. So these two societies, these two groups, larger groups, they have clash of interest, and every time there is a clash of interest, the means of ownership of production, they try to exploit the workers. Every time the workers are exploited, and workers do not know why are they being exploited. So even today the industrialists try to exploit the working class. They give them less wages, they take out the national resources which have no money, and they produce their surplus value. Now there is a clash of interest of exploitation, and there is a tug of war, there is a class conflict, and because of this class conflict there is class struggle, and out of this class struggle a new society is born. And Marx envisaged that there will be revolution, and there will be again a socialist society. There will be no class in this. So there is another dynamics in which, see, first dynamic we saw that there is a simple society, there is a complex society. The simple societies are governed by three elements, three characteristics. One, the division of labor is simple. The second, the laws which are governing the simple society, they are repressive. And the third is mechanical solidarity. There's complex societies, the division of labor is complex. Industrialist societies, the laws which govern are restitutive, and the third, we see the solidarity is organic. So this is one dynamics. The second dynamics we saw, especially in Europe, that there are four epochs in the development of European society. We want to understand, if we want to understand European society, then we will see these four epochs for dynamics. First, the classless society, there was no class. The second, there were masters and slaves. The third was lords and serfs, and the fourth was proletariats and the bourgeois or the industrialists and the workers. So this dynamics we have to see. Now if we see friends, the modern complex society, we can see today this is an era of globalization. Now, in the era of globalization, we can see there are three worlds which were taking place: the first world, the second world, and the third world. The first world, if you see, emerged out of industrial revolution. This first world which emerged out of industrial revolution can be called as American world. The second world, which emerged out of ideological revolution, this can be called as Russia or USSR. And the third world, which we have to see today, the third world which can we see today, that is basically governed or which emerged out of revolution against the colonial masters. So there were three words basically before 1990, and this three words: the first world which emerged out of industrial revolution, the second world which emerged out of ideological revolution, and the third world which emerged out of revolution against the colonial regimes. These three words were trying to have their own dynamics. The first world was having the dynamics which dissociated industry. On the one hand, industry became independent, the society became independent, and polity became independent. So if you want to understand the dynamics of a society, then you will have to understand the economy, the polity, as well as the society. Three elements. But what happened in the second world, if you see, before 1990 or before dismantling of USSR, you see that there was society on the one hand, but polity and economy, they were together. You cannot see that how the division, the political party was producing even soaps. So the industry and the polity, they were together, and therefore it was a very, very different dynamics in which we see that the production of the production system, the industry, was not dissociated by polity. So some people look down upon this type of modernity. As they say, the second world modernity was not a good modernity because in that the polity and economy was together, but they cherished the third world modernization, that in which the three different institutions, the polity, the industry, and the society, they were bifurcated. There was clear-cut division of jurisdiction, of work, of interest. Now when we come to third world, now what happened in this? In this third world, we have a very different type of modernity taking place. This modernity emerged out of revolution against the colonial masters, and therefore, friends, the first world society, the dynamics is different. The second world society, the dynamics is different, and the third world dynamics was different. But after 1990s, the contemporary world has changed. Now we have a very, very different world together, where there is only one world. So if we want to understand the contemporary dynamics of the world, we have to understand the process of globalization. The process of globalization in which the one world economy is trying to overpower that there should be only one world, and in this one world America is leading. And we have just seen American election where Barack Hussein Obama has come again to power, talking about different types of identities: the Afro-American identity, the Hispanic identity, the Asian identity, the poor people identity. They have clubbed together, and this has produced an identity politics even in a most developed democracy of the world, that is United Nations. So the dynamics of the society keeps on changing with the context of that particular society in which there are different types of identity. And if we have to understand contemporary Indian society, then we have to also understand the 5 institutions of the contemporary Indian society: the judiciary, the university, the bureaucracy, the polity, and media. If we understand the dynamics of these institutions, we can understand the contemporary Indian society also. So we can see that to understand the dynamics of society, we have seen how society emerged. There are 2 types of societies given by Emile Durkheim: the simple society, the complex society. Marx has given development of 4 types of societies: the simple society, classless societies, and then we have actually serfs and landlords, the slaves and the masters, proletariats and bourgeois, the first world and the second world and the third world, and within that third world we are seeing the process of globalization. So in this trend we can see a total picture of dynamics of society in different institutions, the laws which they govern, and of course the solidarity which they have.
Okay. So, well friends, Dr. Kumar gave very insightful lecture and also summed up what he want to communicate all of you. So, I hope you have understood the point what he communicated. So, with this word we conclude the lecture. I thank all of you for watching the lecture, and on behalf I thank Dr. Vivek Kumar for giving such a wonderful lecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you.